Warning, this review contains small spoilers, so please watch at your own risk. Have you ever thought about a game featuring a famous composer? No? Well, someone did, and now I have a treat for you. Over the years, many games have come and gone, some singing songs of their success, and others lamenting at their downfall. Hello everyone, I'm TheKasaPuppy, and today, let's enter the beautiful world of Eternal Sonata. Set in a fantasy world where life seems vibrant, we follow a small cast of characters as they all embark on their journey. Each of our characters has a personal reason for their journey, all except Frederick, who is simply looking to find what he deems reality. And because of these common goals, each of them are headed to Forte to speak with Count Waltz, the figurehead in power. As we follow our group, we learn that a foul plot is slowly hatching, with Waltz at its center. He has been releasing a medicine known as mineral powder to the masses, and makes it readily available by taxing any other import and leaving his medicine unscathed. The goal of this plot is to get his subjects to use the mineral powder in large doses, because when used heavily, mineral powder allows the user to use magic. You would think that's a good thing, but it's not, oh no. In the world of Eternal Sonata, to use magic means to mark the end of one's life, for magic is only usable at the end stages of a terminal disease. Waltz knowingly pushes this onto his subjects in hopes of turning his population into a large army of magic users in order to overtake a country by the name of Baroque. Our group, having learned of Waltz's desire and seeing the ill effects it would have on the people, are unable to sit back and allow this to happen, and so they work together with a rebel faction by the name of Andante in order to save the people of Forte. Being a JRPG, Eternal Sonata has a turn-based battle style, but it's not your usual turn-based style. Eternal Sonata uses the environment and time to its advantage. Your characters have an array of skills you can use in battle, and each changes depending on your placement. If you're standing in a lighted or dark area, your special attacks will change accordingly. Having this environmental change in battle makes for tactical use of your surroundings and forces you to be aware of the arena and how to use it effectively. On top of that, Eternal Sonata's turns aren't dictated by just using one action and then moving on to the next. Because of the ability to move around the map, you're also allotted a time frame to move and use actions. Be it traversing to the other side of the map or unleashing battle attacks and using specials, you're given the time to do all that's needed, and this is called tactical time. Tactical time is used for all purposes of the battle and even dictates how long your enemy turns are as well. And understanding how tactical time works and using it effectively will give you the upper hand in battle. Also, after about Chapter 2, you'll be given access to a thing called Echoes. Echoes are an accumulative damage multiplier that is added to your special attacks and can be obtained by attacking the enemy normally. They come in 4s from 4 to 16 and then come in 8s from 24 to 32, with 32 being the highest you can accumulate. The higher the amount of echoes you have, the stronger your special attack will be. Echoes can be obtained by all party members in battle and allow you to amass them quite quickly. However, that also means that all of your echoes are shared amongst your 3 party members. When one character uses a special attack, all echoes will be consumed. It's a good system that helps keep the characters from being too overpowered in battle and adds a good sense of balance to the system. Eternal Sonata is home to many memorable characters, but for the sake of this review, I'm gonna go over 3 main characters: Frederick, Polka, and Allegretto. Frederick Francois Chopin, the famous pianist of the past, is one of the main characters, but seemingly not the focus of the story. He's sure that the world is just a dream of his design, and that eventually he'll awaken from it and return to his life in Paris. Or he thinks so, but as he journeys through Forte, he begins to question his sense of reality. He's very stoic and imparts wisdom based on his experience, but is still easily moved by the people and events around him. Polka is more or less the focus of Eternal Sonata. The story reminds us of her fate time and again, and will often tie the events to herself. Her attitude is that of a shy child who wants to do nothing more than help, but feels like her intervention is more of a nuisance than an aid. She's very apologetic and sometimes outright oblivious to certain nuances and jokes that her fellow members constantly make among themselves. She's both a realist and an optimist. She wants to be able to help everyone, but knows that she can only do so much at once with the time she has. Allegretto is our leader. His attitude is very opposite of Polka. He's confident, straightforward, and loyal to those he trusts. He's quick-witted and can easily spot danger due to his experience growing up. However, being the age he is, he's still not the greatest at dealing with people's emotions, and can sometimes end up putting his foot in his mouth and upsetting his friends without knowing what he did wrong. His naive nature is charming, but sometimes frustrating as well, making Allegretto seem more lifelike than most characters. I personally connect with Allegretto on a large level because I used to be much like him, and it's like looking back at my younger self. The rest of the cast of Eternal Sonata is also very well written, and I could spend all day talking about why I like or dislike certain characters, but the best way to experience this is to play it for yourself and find who you connect with the most. It goes without saying that a video game based on Chopin's music would have an amazing soundtrack, but that's an understatement. The soundtrack of Eternal Sonata is much more than the classical stylings of Chopin. It has a wide range of styles used throughout the story, and I find myself enjoying each track. It uses classical stylings merged with a more modern feel and captures the bright and colorful nature of this title. It paints a beautiful picture of tranquility and peace, but easily transitions to a much more serious and dark nature depending on the scene. It adds atmosphere to an already amazing game. One of my favorite tracks is the battle theme Leap a Precipice, and another one of my favorites is a calming track called A Buffer for Quiet. These songs stand out to me and really show the different styles this title achieves. It's really hard for me to see fault in Eternal Sonata because of how well it was put together. But one of the things that does stand out to me is the ragdoll nature of the character models. As much as I love the style of the game, the way the characters move can be sometimes odd and look outright bad. That, and I wonder if they can actually put their arms down since they seem to just hover over their sides at all times. Another issue I could point out are some of the dungeons feel unnecessarily long. The puzzles are nice and all, but after a point they become tedious and boring as you do the same mechanic over and over until you complete the selected dungeon. If it were a bit shorter, it would probably feel less like a problem. Another flaw that I see in Eternal Sonata is the endless monologues. There is a certain scene, which I won't name, that goes on far too long. It's like 7 minutes for something that should last about a minute long. The biggest flaw to Eternal Sonata is that on the Xbox version, you are missing a part of the story and certain party members which were included in the PS3 version. This is done in other titles as well, such as Tales of Vesperia, and feels like that is a punishment to players who play one system over another. With that said, let's drift over to the pros and cons of Eternal Sonata. Looking at the game as a whole, the pros are the breathtaking soundtrack, the colorful and pleasing visuals, well-rounded characters, and the engaging and overall fun battle style. The cons, however, are the long monologues, the weird and somewhat ragdoll-looking character models, lengthy dungeons that get often tedious, and console-specific copies having more than the other. Brushing that aside, Eternal Sonata is a positively amazing experience, and I ask that you give this game a try if you ever get the chance. And if you can get your hands on a PS3 copy of the game, then you're in for a treat. With the extra party members that you'll gain access to, among other treats such as the extra dungeons and the extended story, you have way more at your hands. However, if Eternal Sonata isn't for you, I recommend trying out Infinite Undiscovery. It's another action JRPG that has a large difficulty about it that keeps you on your toes, and has a good story to it that leaves you wanting to play more. With all said and done, Eternal Sonata is one of those gems of the RPG era that easily gets overlooked, and I feel as though you should at least try it once. I'm definitely glad that I did. Hey everyone, I'm TheKasaPuppy and thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I do a new video every other Tuesday, and if you have any recommendations for games to review, please leave a comment on my YouTube or Twitter and I will take it into great consideration.